Good morning. I'm Donna Drake, and welcome to Connecting Communities. And Giovanni Mata was not able to join us this morning and asked me to fill in. And with us is his wonderful friend, Paul Bellini. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
Good. Very, very happy to be here. I'm glad you guys invited me, and looking forward to have a nice conversation with you.
Now, Paul, you are a certified public accountant, a CPA.
That's correct.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing this for many, many years. Maybe I just don't want to say too long because then everybody will know my age, but I would say at least 20 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And you were with Deloitte, which is one of the largest firms.
Yes, I worked with Deloitte for, I would say, almost 10 years. I was a senior manager there. My career also goes back a little bit into private industries. You know, I started my internship, let's say, at Merrill Lynch and Random House. I also worked for the government, believe it or not, for 2 years. The Department of Justice. And then, yes, I moved into Deloitte and also in a couple of more private companies, per se.
And now, because this is it's a bilingual show, although you're trilingual, we were talking about that, right?
That's correct.
Spanish, Italian, and English. Can you please just answer that same question about your background, but answered in Spanish for me?
Sure.
Okay.
Not Italian, just the Spanish.
Yes, just in Spanish. Yeah, you said conversationally Italian,
exactly.
right?
So, sí, muchas gracias por invitarme a este show. Como dijeron, mi nombre es Paul Bellini y mi experiencia abarca desde las firmas, digamos, de Merrill Lynch, que empecé mi carrera con ellos, y también trabajé en Random House y también para uno de los 4 más grandes CPAs o contadores más grandes del mundo, que es Deloitte, por 10 años.
Now, what does your firm currently do, and what firm are you with now?
So now I set up my own firm. We have structured, I would say, 3 companies, and one of them is the CPA firm. And basically, the CPA firm is called Tax Accounting Resources Corporation. And this entity basically does all the CPA services. We do compilations, we do reviews, financial statements for individuals, financial statements for corporations. We also do provision for income taxes, FIN 48 implementation. We try to serve all type of clients, either individuals, partnerships, corporations. We also do taxes, hopefully. This is tax season. So we do individual taxes, high net worth individuals, small individuals. No client is small, no client is too big for us. We can handle them all. Then we do another side of practice deals more with business licenses and providing all type of services that are not CPA related. We do, like I said, payrolls. We open corporations, close corporations, help individuals get their business license and to be in compliance. And the third entity that we have, and I guess all comprised of one, it's called Tax Accounting Educators Corporation. And this is the entity that's going to take off pretty soon.
Okay.
But basically, this firm, what it does, it's an educating company. And we try to educate business leaders, primarily in the churches and religious and nonprofit organizations. And we will launch a publication for them. And as well, we do seminars and radio talk shows too. And we try to have them put back in track in compliance with all the tax laws and regulations. And basically, yes, that will be the third one. And again, we are preparing a big seminar for them. It's going to be a 6-hour seminar coming soon, where we're going to have all type of lectures, you know, either starting in church. It's going to be Spanish speaking. I'm sorry for the English audience, but this we'll probably come back with an English one.
Okay.
But this is going to be more geared towards, again, Spanish speaking pastors. And all the lectures are going to be like how to form a church, you know, what are the rules of the church, what are the rules and responsibilities of the board of directors or the board of trustees and forth. And so basically that's it.
Piece of it, just that piece of it then, Paul, could you tell us about that seminar in Spanish now?
Yes.
En español.
En español.
I speak un pequeño.
Un poquito. Como dijimos antes, nuestra firma se organiza en 3 partes, right? Y la primera parte se llama Tax Accounting Resources, que es la compañía de CPA Services, de los servicios de contadores, en la cual ofrecemos servicios contables de preparación de estados financieros, compilaciones, revisiones. También preparamos impuestos para corporaciones, sean grandes, pequeñas, medianas, no hay límite, cualquier cliente puede aplicar por nosotros. Y también lo que hacemos es preparar impuestos de corporaciones, de partnership, S corporations y lo demás. Y la tercera firma, la que estábamos hablando, es Tax Accounting Educators, y esa es la firma que enseñamos, ¿ok? Y vamos a brindar seminarios a todas aquellas, más para iglesias y líderes de iglesias y pastores, que muchos no saben la responsabilidad que están tomando. Entonces vamos a publicar un nuevo libro, una guía financiera y tributaria para ellos, y también vamos a tener un seminario que se viene muy pronto, más o menos dentro de 2 meses, de 6 horas. Y este seminario sí va a hablar cómo se organiza la iglesia, cuáles son las responsabilidades de la iglesia, y también vamos a invitar a un líder del liderazgo que también va a estar con nosotros como un co-host. One thing I mentioned to you that within the seminar, we also going to do it a little less boring than all the other seminars. You know, we're going to end up with an art show.
An art show.
Yeah, so I guess that'll be a little
wonderful.
interesting. So I'm sure everybody's going to be a little boring sitting down, but I think they'll be anxious to learn. And also, we're going to present the publication that we were talking about. So
Well, let's talk a little bit about the art show. You know, whose art? Whose art will you be
so
displaying?
basically, my wife is an artist, so she does all these art shows. But and again, it's going to be a Christian art show. So
Okay.
we will have all the displays at the end of this seminar, and it'll be all related to all the churches and so forth. You know, it's an idea that came up because of the fact that, you know, how do we end up this seminar? So maybe we'll just throw something there. In addition, I'll be lecturing all the classes, but I have a very good friend of mine, and he's a brother, a very famous speaker in Argentina. His name is Samuel Stamateas, and he does a lot of leadership seminars, and he'll be joining us on the seminar as well. So he'll have an hour. And again, this whole thing is helping the pastors and church leaders and nonprofit organizations how to be better leaders, how to manage and stay out of trouble, basically.
So what I want to touch on next briefly is the publication that's coming out, and then let's talk about, you mentioned Argentina, let's talk about your childhood.
Sure.
So let's talk about the publication.
Okay, so the publication is basically a very practical publication. It's a complete tax guide and a complete, I would say, legal guide, if you want to call it that way. And it's a book that every church and pastor should have. What this publication does, first of all, it guides you through all the steps of setting up the church, how to manage it, but it also tells you all the rules and regulations. How do the church compensation gets recorded, how do the church have to report all the transactions? Either, as many people think that the churches don't pay taxes and they don't have to do anything, but honestly, they don't realize how much trouble they could get into. I mean, penalties can raise up to $5,000, $10,000, and I would say in the past 5-6 years, the IRS is coming very heavy against the board of directors, where there are a lot of cases that they went physically and personally, not physically, but personally, against their assets. So, which means they have to be careful.
Okay.
The other thing is that churches have a privilege, which is called an exempt purposes, which is, you know, they're exempt from income taxes, but that's just a privilege, which means they can lose that privilege very easy.
Okay.
So if one of the board of directors of a regular corporate, you know, a corporation does something wrong, he just probably gets fired. But once the pastor or a board of trustees of a church does something wrong, they can literally lose this privilege. And what this privilege does is that it loses the church status, which means that not only the church is going to get penalized, but all the members of the church that contributed to this church, the IRS will not allow the deductions.
My
Now
goodness.
imagine an average member gives $1,000, you have 200,000 members.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all those people are going to be penalized, you know, paying income taxes and penalties and all that, because the church does not the IRS does not recognize this as a church.
Thank you for explaining that, Paul. That's really valuable to know. Now let's talk about your upbringing in Argentina. You said that your parents were of Italian descent.
Yes.
So let's touch on that.
So basically, I was born in Argentina, came to the United States when I was 9 years old. My father took the boat from Italy to Argentina. So he was off the boat. I took the plane, come to the United States, so I'm off the plane. But yes, I mean, after World War II, Argentina was the land opportunities, same as the United States and Canada, that were the 3 top countries. So a lot of Italians, a lot of Germans, a lot of Jews, a lot of Great Britain, Chinese, they all went to Argentina, United States, and Canada. So my father left Italy at the age of 18, 17. He always tells me this story, he didn't have a penny on his pocket, he just literally got into the boat and see what's there. You know, all the adventures that the Italians had. So we grew up. I grew up in a large city, Buenos Aires. We had an apartment there, but my parents always wanted to get a better future for us, and have a sister too. So he decided that United States was the right place to be. So Argentina was not the promised land that it was in the 40s. So he decided to bring us here to the United States. And then also he was a very religious person, I would say. So we'll go to church and all that. And he used to bring me and my sister. So that's where I kind of came up with this idea of helping churches out.
That's wonderful. Yeah. So it's your give back to your upbringing.
Exactly.
You want to help
Yes.
others.
Yes.
That's lovely. That's, I think, what's most important in culture. And we have about a minute left, so I would love to know a little bit about your favorite foods, because growing up with an Italian mother in Argentina, moving to the United States, I mean.
So we got both, the Italian, I love the pasta, all type of pasta. In fact, my father used to, when I was 6 years old, my sister and I, we used to make homemade raviolis, so with the dough, put it there, we spread the meat and the sauce and all that. And pasta is my favorite. Red sauce, bolognese sauce, number 2. And of course, like in any Argentinian, steak is the number 1.
Okay.
So steak, red wine, potatoes, perfect combination.
Okay, and anything American? You like macaroni and cheese? Or?
Macaroni and cheese, I love these heroes. Yeah. And sometimes a burger once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you so much, Paul, for being here.
Thank you.
If somebody wanted to reach you, how could they reach out to you?
So, like I said before, we're neighbors.
Okay.
We're just around the corner of Smithtown. We are at 10 Lawrence Avenue, so right a quarter of a block from Main Street. So our phone number is 631-361-8111. Again, 631-361-8111. It's tax season, but, we accommodate you at whatever time. If you want to come on Sundays and Saturdays, 10 o'clock at night, it doesn't matter. And again,
Domingo, Sábado,
Sábado, Domingo, and again, we not only do churches, we do everything. We do corporations, so executives compensation, anything that everybody is interested in, we'll help them. And again, if we work out with either whatever budget you have or whatever time availability you have.
That's fabulous. Well, thank you so much for being here. If you would like more information on connecting communities, you can reach us at The Daily Blue. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Donna Drake signing off, and Giovanni Mata will be here next week. Thank you.